Hello, I'm Christie. I'm the author of Tom, a novel of a pianist sent to war based on the life of my grandfather. This video is about how I know key events in the story. I went down to London, in particular St Catherine's House. The records used to be in Somerset House, but they moved. I did this in 1987. The records could be found using an index book. It was this size. They were huge. Starting with the birth certificate, it gives the name, the date when they were born, and the address they were born at. Before the Great Wars, many people were born at home. Moving along gives the parents, and it gives the father's job. Then there is a column of who was there to sign the certificate, usually a parent. Then the marriage certificate gives the names of the couple, the date they were married, their ages, and where they were living. A column further along gives the names of their fathers and their jobs. Sometimes if their father was not alive, it would mark that they were deceased. The death certificate. It gives their name, the date they died, and where they were living just before their death. The certificate also gives their age and the job they did. The cause of death is written usually in medical terms, but there are websites available that give their meaning. And lastly, who was present to sign the certificate? It's usually a spouse or a sibling. The census. The first column is the address. Moving along, we find the names of the people who lived there. Often there were a few families at that address, as many houses were split into flats. The head was shown and the position of the rest of the family to the head. A column indicates whether they were married or single, their age, last birthday, their profession, and where they were born. Very helpful in finding their birth certificates, as they could come from another area. Something to watch out for. To find your family history, start with yourself. If your parents are alive, then they may have their documents. Look at their birth certificates. They will tell you their parents, although some of you may be lucky enough to have your grandparents still alive. My grandparents were Thomas F. Lane and Ruby Baker. From them, I managed to find my great-grandparents, Thomas H. Lane and Adeline Butterick. Now I wish to explore how I found this information. My granddad's birth certificate showing a birth date of 1890. His parents are Thomas Henry Lane and Adeline Mary Butterick. All I have to do is find the marriage certificate. Oh, here it is. Showing they were 21 years old and married in 1887. Now, I hope my maths is correct. 1887. Take away 21, their age. It gives 1866. Now this seems simple enough, but the age given shows they were born in 1866, but could I find anything? No. I looked everywhere for the years 1865 to 1867. I had to give up. And then the internet came along, with the site I used was ancestry.co.uk. These websites use a database. The front page of Ancestry gives a form to fill in. Type the name which gives the list. Click on the name closest to what you think, which then gives the details. This confirms the data I already had. Now we can search for real using the census forms. Using the 1891 census, we see Thomas H. Lane as being 22, giving a birth date of 1869. Now, for the 1881 census, we see Thomas H. Lane is the second son, aged 13, giving a birth date of 1868. Now we have a birth date of 1868 to 69, 2 to 3 years different from 1866. Obtaining the birth certificate, my great-grandfather was born in 1868. His parents were William George Lane and Isabella Catherine Beaumont. Looking again at the 1881 census form shows a William G. Lane as the head, and Catherine Lane as his wife, giving confirmation that the information is correct. Now, why did they lie about their ages? I don't know, but it could be that to get married younger than 21, that required the go-ahead from their parents, something they might not have had. Remember, things were different in the Victorian times. Back to the tree. From them, my great-great-grandparents, who were William Lane and Isabella Beaumont. And finally, my great-great-great-grandparents, John Lane and Elizabeth Main. Using all this information I have found, I can go further and create an extended family tree, as shown here. If you enjoyed this video, buy the book Tom from Author House or Amazon, or alternatively go to my website christiemore.co.uk, which will give you all the links.